Today I'll be talking about the bosses of Sonic Rivals. The basics of the bosses are that the fights take place on a circular platform, with you and the rival character trying to attack the boss, with you winning if you hit the boss 6 times and you losing if they hit the boss 6 times first. The boss of the first stage, Forest Fall Zone, is the Egg Turtle. When the fight begins, it'll start spinning at the same speed as the characters run, maybe a little faster. At a seemingly random moment, Egg Turtle will suddenly stop and extend its neck onto the track, hurting anyone who runs into it, but also leaving its flashing red weak point vulnerable to attack. When Egg Turtle extends its neck, it also extends its tail as well, and if you jump on the tail like you would the head, it'll reset the Egg Turtle and create a shock wave on either side that circles the track until they dissipate, that hurts if they make contact with you. This is useful to prevent your adversary from striking the head in case you get too far away. If neither of these are hit, they retract and Egg Turtle returns to spinning again. After you strike Egg Turtle a few times, it can start rotating after extending its neck, sometimes continuing in the same direction but occasionally spinning in the opposite direction, and since you're probably chasing it down when this happens, it'll probably smack you in the process. After a few more hits, it can start rotating even faster, making chasing it pointless, so you should either hit the tail to reset it, or run the other direction in hopes you can run into it to strike it. The boss of the second stage, Colosseum Highway, is the Egg Hawk, but first we have to talk about the arena. It's the only arena with multiple layers, as it has 2 layers of floating platforms circling above the ground you must jump onto in order to reach the Egg Hawk, but you can get there easier by landing on the springs on either side of the arena if you time it right between the platforms. The Egg Hawk itself floats above the arena, circling around occasionally, changing direction before it begins to drop a series of bombs beneath it. While the bombs can hurt you on contact, their real purpose is to interact with the platforms needed to reach Egg Falcon. There are 3 bomb types, one that sets platforms on fire, another that freezes the platform, freezing whoever lands on it, and a final one that shrinks down the platform, making landing on it harder. After it does this, Egg Falcon will lower down onto the strikeable range for a while before raising back up, sometimes changing direction before restarting the cycle all over again. The amount of bombs dropped increases as the fight continues. It starts off with 3, about mid-fight there's 5, and near the end I counted 7. As a side note, sometimes when you land a hit, you'll fall through the platforms instead of landing on them, meaning you'll have to start climbing the platforms from the start to reach Egg Hawk again, which would be a good mechanic if I thought it was on purpose. The boss of Sky Park Zone is... no one. Sky Park doesn't have a boss stage. The boss of Crystal Mountain Zone, however, is the Egg Lynx, taking place in a half-circle arena with Egg Lynx in the center moving side to side until it decides to attack. When it does, Egg Lynx has 2 options. It can fire spikes from its back, moving itself to aim the spikes as its target tries to escape. At the start of the fight, it fires a series of 5 spikes. After a few hits, this goes up to 7, and near the end, it goes up to 10. The second attack is raising its paws, moving onto the track, and slamming its paws down on the track, creating a shockwave that travels to the edges of the track. At this point, Egg Lynx remains stationary, giving a chance to hit its head by standing on its paws to reach it. When the Egg Lynx retreats back, there's a gap in the track where it slammed its paws, so if you walk into it you fall into the water, hindering your speed until you get out. These gaps freeze over after a while. The boss of the Death Yard Zone is a large gorilla head that I assumed was called Egg Gorilla, but the wiki says it's called Egg Kong. Because of plot reasons, your rival isn't fighting you to beat the boss first, but is actually on the boss's side, so your goal is to win before time runs out, and the rival is just trying to distract you to run out the clock. Egg Kong itself stays in the center, spinning counterclockwise, stopping to fire missiles out of its mouth. Most of these missiles are ordinary, flying into the sky then just falling straight down, trying to hit you. But sometimes these missiles will be wider and have blue fins. When these wider missiles are fired, they take longer to strike down, and if they miss you, they'll make a small glowing spot on the track you can vault over. When you do, it fires the missile behind you and travels around the track, freezing whoever it hits. Egg Kong will start firing 3 missiles at the start of a fight, 4 missiles in the middle of the fight, and 5 missiles near the end of a fight. After its missiles, it'll rotate again until Eggman removes his ship from the top and move to the track, charging for a moment before firing an energy pillar on either side of the track that travels on the circle a few times before dissipating. After he fires the pillars, he's vulnerable to attack before he retreats back into the Egg Kong. The final boss, found in Meteor Base Zone, is the Egg Destroyer. Like the previous boss Egg Kong, you're on a timer and the rival is on the boss's side. Unlike the other bosses, the track is in a straight line because the track is the boss. The Egg Destroyer boss has 4 stages to it, consisting of a path with various obstacles with a turret at the end that needs to be hit twice. The first hit sends you back up to the start of the stage, with the second floating you over the barrier before the stage you just came from gets torn off and explodes, but brings your rival with you. The obstacles in your way are all on wheels that go around the ship that spin every now and then, giving time to move past them if you're struggling, but also some wheels will switch out the obstacles they're using on you. On the first stage, the first wheel will have an electric wall that blocks you moving forward. You either wait for the wheel to spin, or you get your rival in a position where you can jump on him to leap over it. The second wheel has a vent that blows a strong wind to push you back. You get over this by spin dashing through and jumping over the vent to reach the turret. On the second stage, the first wheel has a cannon that fires 5, sometimes 4, ice blasts in an arch that freezes whatever it touches, as ice attacks tend to do. Just sneak through the arch and jump over the cannon. The second wheel has a gun that fires 7 shots before the wheel resets. As far as I can tell, you can just brute force your way through this and jump over it. At the third stage, the wheels start changing what obstacle is holding you back. The first wheel switches between an electric wall and the wind vent, and the second wheel switches between the gun and the ice cannon. On the final stage, the first wheel switches from an ice cannon to a gun, the second wheel doesn't change and stays an electric wall, with a third wheel switching between an ice cannon and a gun again, which I find obnoxiously repetitive. Oh, I forgot to mention, throughout the boss there are meteors falling from the sky that can hit you, but they're such a non-issue I completely forgot about them. At the end of the stage, Eggman is in his capsule firing a pair of guns at you. Smack him, get sent back to the start, and smack him again and congrats. You win the game.